I would like to introduce our next extraordinary speaker as well as the two that have followed us. She's online from Los Angeles City. Her name is Jean Holm from this. She's the City of Los Angeles Deputy Mayor, and she will be talking about bringing youth to data leadership, the Los Angeles Data Science Federation. I don't know if we have her already online so that we can see her on the screen. On the meantime, I would like to tell you that we're going to have a Q&A session at the end of Janine's presentation. Can you hear us, Jean?
I can hear you just fine. Thank you very much.
Excellent. So let's give it an applause to Jane. Go ahead.
Great. Thank you so much, and really appreciate being able to join you virtually today. So, ni hao, everyone. And I wish I was there with you, but I am unfortunately here in Los Angeles. We are deep in work with the City of Los Angeles. Where I'm the deputy mayor. But most importantly, I'm actually a data scientist. So, one of the things we've done at the City of Los Angeles is look at how we can do things differently with open data and being able to include more voices and more kinds of people in what we're doing and how we're organizing our data. So I want to tell you a little bit about our Data Science Federation. This is a way in which we get university students from 18 different universities and colleges, as well as the professors involved in doing real-time data work at the city and helping to have a voice in how their city is run. What we do is we create challenges in each of our departments, whether that's transportation, the zoo, our department of the airport or the Port of Los Angeles. And all of these different departments have data needs that they're looking at and data science challenges. And these are needed we need staff from the universities to be able to come in and look at the data, analyze it, and come up with different solutions. So I'll tell you a little bit about some of the different kinds of projects we've been working on with students at all these universities. Some of these students are in the undergraduate program, some are in the graduate program. They're in data science, but they could be in computer science or mechanical engineering or even political science. And what they do is they look at the perspective from whatever class they're in. They use different kinds of technologies. So sometimes they might be in a class around artificial intelligence. They might be looking at using blockchain. We do gamification of different parts of the city where we actually use augmented and virtual reality to help our citizens using apps walk through and explore nature in different parts of our parks. We use gamification in ways to be able to create digital twins and models of our city so that citizens and residents can see how the city could look differently if we build a new building or do something that we're talking about in planning. And then we use machine learning as a precursor to artificial intelligence to be able to understand how we are predicting things, how we're looking at combining different data sets, and how we're using that in ways to make more rapid and fast and equitable decisions at the city. To do this, we build on a basis of open data. We have a large open data portal. So I was hearing the previous speaker talking about their open data portal. It's very similar, but much smaller than theirs. This is just the city. And what we're doing is we provide thousands of data sets and maps, and people can come and access that data. Every data set has an open API and an automated machine readable way of accessing that data. And then every data set also has a human understandable way of accessing that data. Many of our data sets also contain stories, and some of those stories are written by our students in the Data Science Federation. So building on this basis of the technology students are studying in school, the classes that they're in, and our data, we look at trying to solve really complex challenges, and we break them down into small challenges that groups of students can work on. Those challenges come, again, out of city departments. In the city of Los Angeles, we have 42 departments. We have 50,000 employees, and we have 4 million people in the city, which maybe by Chinese standards isn't so large, but it's large by American standards. We're the second largest city in our country. And we ask these students and their professors to look at how we're managing the city government, programs in the city, and how we're performing in a way to be able to unveil and reveal different ways in which we're actually operating. This allows the students to, over the course of a semester, work on a project with, say, the Department of Transportation, be able to get real world experience that they can put on their resume, be able to give us a different idea of how to solve a problem. And importantly for us, because we're always looking to hire people, we end up hiring about 20% of the students who work on this program end up getting jobs at the city later because they've just realized what an impact they can have working in government that they didn't realize before. So there's 3 programs that we do with this. One is called the Data Angels, which is for people who are already working as data scientists to come in and for 1 or 2 months be able to do a program. And then the other one is the Data Science Federation. Allows us to be able to reach to students at universities. This program here is funded by our National Science Foundation. So that's one of our federal agencies. They fund local students to do some of this research. And the recent students were doing research on issues around gender equality, recovery from long-term COVID, and some of the other work around our LA River, which normally is quite dry, but we've had this year. We're very grateful. And as a result, we have a lot of work going around the LA River. The Angels are the older career professionals with our students from the Data Science Federation, and they work on a variety of projects. In addition to the ones I mentioned just now, they're also working on working on projects around equity. So our Angelina card is a way that people can sign on with one account to over 140 city services. We end up getting information about them that helps us to recommend what services might be useful to them. They may qualify for another that they just don't know about. If they're checking out books from the library, they may want to know about a talk by the author of some of the books that they're checking out. And so the Angelino card allows them to share this data in ways that give them better access to information. In this slide, you can see a few of the different things we do with some of our younger students and that we do for our younger students. So in our libraries, we have maker spaces and robot maker spaces so that students as young as elementary school are able to come in and work on projects. And then the app you see here in the park is actually one of our augmented reality apps like Pokemon Go that allows you to go out and see in the real world virtual and augmented reality and then interact with wildlife, animals, expect different kinds of ways in which we might build the city and let students be able to interact with that. And our older students in college are the ones who are building some of these apps. The other thing we try to do is take this very complex city of 4 million people and break it down into neighborhoods or ways that people are able to more easily understand locally what's happening. So the students have worked together to create an app called Know Your Community. And this app allows any citizen to be able to come in and see what's going on, what is being built, what permits are coming, what new housing is going to be available, and they can see all the things that are happening in their community based on what the city is doing. I'm just going to wrap it up with a couple of other projects. One is one that we're doing with NASA, the US Space Agency. This one is called Predicting What We Breathe. And in this one, we are using satellite data from both the NASA satellites and the European Space Agency satellites that looks across the globe at air quality and pollution levels. And we combine that data with the ground sensors that we have throughout the city. And our students help us to distribute and place some of these ground data sensors as well. We combine that data in a way that uses machine learning and then predicts what the air pollution is going to be like in the next 2 weeks. This is really useful when we're planning large city events and we know that there might be a day where we have bad pollution, we can plan around that. Or when we want to get that information to healthcare companies who can then pass it on to their to the people who subscribe to that healthcare, to the doctor's patients, in order to make sure that everything is going to be safe for them as they move around the city. Some of the work that we're doing also includes traffic safety and working with making sure that our intersections are safe for people crossing. This is using artificial intelligence and computer vision to be able to detect just the number of people on the streets, so that if there are more people coming towards an intersection or people who might be in wheelchairs, we can actually change the timing of those streetlights in order to be able to accommodate people or crowds. And just as the previous speaker mentioned, we also are a city that has adopted the Sustainable Development Goals. And so we have a site that has the data behind each of the 17 goals and let you see the progress that we're making towards each of these goals. Students work on many of these different projects, whether it's gender equity, climate, livable cities, no poverty, no hunger, and helps us to be able to realistically and carefully reveal the data that shows what the progress we're making towards each of our sustainable development goals. So, in summary, what we're really doing is taking the idea of the research that's going on in the universities and that students are being exposed to. We gather it and combine it with data from the city to actually make a change. And then we study the outcomes, and that feeds back to the next group of students and the next group of professors so that we build upon our research and our understanding each time, and we have decisions at the city that are informed by data. We work with students at all different levels, from elementary school in the projects that are libraries, through college and our Data Science Federation, and then out to our community with our data angels and other older residents in a way that is going to make it easy for them to be involved and make it easy for them to do citizen science projects like our air quality, and in a way that helps to make the city of Los Angeles more equitable, more livable for all. So thank you for hearing about how we're doing our Data Science Federation. I really wish I was there with you today, and 谢谢.